Time for topic one. You've got jail. Donald Trump was finally served by New York Attorney General Letitia James after allegedly having the location of his classified documents leaked by his on-call Diet Coke guy. But 45 is also facing a series of criminal investigations, including tax fraud, stealing classified documents, attempting to overthrow the government, and the DOJ says they have enough evidence to arrest him. Basically, Trump has incriminated himself more than a Brooklyn drill rapper singing his hit song, "I killed that nigga and he's buried over there." But here's what I want to know. Michael, you were this man's lawyer. Do you think that he's actually going to jail?
I don't know whether or not he's going to physically end up in jail. I do believe he'll be indicted.
Okay.
I'm a little disappointed that Merrick Garland has not indicted so far. That now they're going to wait for after the midterms, somewhere before December. But I do believe he will be indicted, and I do believe that there will be a trial.
Tez, do you think America can even hold somebody that powerful, that privileged, and that white accountable? Do they even know how to punish somebody like Trump?
No, absolutely. I mean, again, let's look at this justice system. This so-called justice system has yet to do anything for the descendants of those who actually built the Capitol that they were trying to tear down, number one. Secondly, when we look at America, there's two justice systems, one for white America, one for black America. Let's just take an example of Tulsa, Black Wall Street, that was burned down to the ground.
Okay.
Not just a few windows that were broken out through an insurrection, but actually people who were murdered and people that literally tore the town up. There are 3 living survivors that are still alive and well into their 100s, that are waiting on this government to be able to give them reparations for their claim. So if this same government ignores that, why would I expect them to now hold Donald Trump or any other white man in America accountable?
Ooh.
There are more slaves, more men in prison than those who were enslaved in 1850. So we say reparations now for those that built the Capitol and built the White House, reparations now for those that are still the descendants of Tulsa, Oklahoma. And once they do that, then I can get on board with this insurrection.
Okay.
You know, nothing for nothing, but nothing for nothing. But I was incarcerated because another guy got his pecker pulled by a porn star. So at the end of the day, you know, sometimes white people go to jail too.
Yeah.
Well, you know what?
I'm
Not
sorry
as
to
much
hear
as
that.
black folks, though.
Since you, Jim, what do you think?
I apologize for that, but as a person who has also had his pecker pulled by a porn star, I'm sorry he had to.
I wasn't even the one that got screwed. Well, actually, I did.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of his pecker, somebody whose name I can't pronounce, Michael Igor, whatever, he's a Russian source for the Steel Dahlia. He was acquitted earlier this week after being accused of lying to the FBI. So tell us, is there a Trump P-tape?
Okay, so...
I know you know.
Right.
Does the P-tape exist? Have you seen it?
It does not.
Okay.
And one of the things when I was testifying before the House Oversight Committee, one of the things that they had asked me is exactly that question. And obviously, it could have been easy for me to just turn around and say, well, you know, I'm not sure, maybe yes. Maybe. The answer is it is not. And one of the ways I can assure you that it's not is, first of all, when he had these prostitutes allegedly urinate on the bed because former President Obama had stayed in that room, clearly what ended up happening.
Wow.
Hold
on, let's roll that back right quick.
Well, that's why they supposedly, that was the allegation why he did it. Why he had them come in.
Why wouldn't he pee on the bed himself if you don't like
I got a bed. Well,
mark your own territory,
because he's wearing a diaper. But more important than that, it's more important than that. There was no scenario that took place, and we know that because clearly, if there was, there would have been wet bed sheets, and I guarantee you that that would have ended up in somebody's custody.
That was a very detailed alleged story.
Right.
It does not exist.
Who cares if
But
there
did
is a
it
P-tape? If you want to see a P-tape of me, I'll send it to you from my phone. Who cares?
Is there any possible way to prosecute Trump without making him a martyr? Because I think 2 things can happen, right? If they indict him and don't prosecute him, then his base can say, oh, it was just a witch hunt. He can rile his base up and say, see, they keep trying to get me for nothing. And if they do indict him and send him to jail, then he becomes a martyr. Is there any win in this scenario?
No, because we have 2 completely separate countries right now. We are so divisive. Republicans and Democrats have never been more divisive than what's going on right now. The people who are his supporters are his supporters to the end, and the people who are his detractors are detractors to the end. He belongs in prison, or at least in some sort of very strict home confinement. That's my opinion.
I don't think any ex-president is ever going to go to jail. We can't keep a guy in jail if he brings an axe into a McDonald's or someone pushes a lady in front of a train.
Yeah.
And we can't put the son of the current president in jail. No ex-presidents are ever going to jail. We need to stop pretending that's going to happen. It's never going to happen to any ex-president.
Damn. You said, Michael, that you don't think he'll run in 2024.
No, I don't.
Really, why?
First of all, he is a baby ego. He's a fragile ego, and he cannot stand to be a two-time loser. And he knows that he will lose because statistically, he cannot win. In fact, there was a poll that came out that says that if he ran against DeSantis in the primary, he would lose to DeSantis. So he knows where he's going. On top of that, the great grift that he is going on now, he's pulled down $200 million plus from these unsuspecting maggots that are just doling out their money like it doesn't mean anything.
You said maggots, right?
Yes.
Just want to be clear.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Reminded me of my nickname in high school.
Oh, was it?
Tez, what do you think? You think he'll run again?
I think that one of the things is better to be the puppet master than the puppet. So even
agreed.
though he is not running, he's still running. So being able to have other folks who will be his mouthpiece like Herschel Walker, other folks who are running for Senate, other folks that are running for Congress, people that are even running on the state and local level, that's still running and that's still winning. So I've always been about who's behind the scenes, not on the scenes. So he's still running. He's running now. Every single weekend, there's something going on about Trump. Meanwhile, Democrats on the other side saying, well, let's just take him off Twitter and that solves the problem. No, it doesn't. They are still organizing. They're still plotting, planning, strategizing, like our brother Killer Mike says.
That's right.
And they're more focused on what Killer Mike is saying instead of looking at what people are not doing, which is organizing and getting people to the polls.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Michael, you don't ever get scared?
Say it again.
You don't ever get scared?
About what?
Just in speaking out against Trump, being that you used to be in the inner circle, I'm sure you get threats and stuff like that.
I get threats every single day, but the answer is no. My concern right now is for democracy in America, and it's for equal justice, which is why I am so hard right now on the Department of Justice, because it needs to be completely reformed.
Yeah, I don't think democracy, can truly get saved if Donald Trump doesn't go to jail. I think that's part of saving.
I agree with you completely. However, it's going to be very difficult to put a former president in prison, and the reason is because
It wouldn't be if he was black. If it was
Right.
President Barack Obama,
It still
he'd
would be.
under the jail.
It still would be, and I'm going to tell you the reason why. Because for 4 years, he was briefed on a daily basis for top secret information. And I promise you that this man would sell those secrets for a book of stamps or a tuna.
Oh.
And
So you think he was taking classified docs from the White House to sell to foreign government?
absolutely. I've been very vocal about that, including on my own Twitter account going back to August. They need to right now go and not just check Mar-a-Lago. That they've done. They need to check his Fifth Avenue place. They need to check his golf courses. Anywhere that this man has been, I guarantee you that there are documents in those places.
Am I
again,
wrong?
what
I like
democ-
Herschel Walker. I don't like his politics, and I don't care. I like the fact that he's such a shit liar. I think it's fun to watch a guy who lies the way I do and I get caught cheating. I never had an abortion. Yes, you did. All right, maybe. I just like the fact that the Cowboys were built on the Herschel Walker trade. Let's not forget
That is true. I'm a Cowboy fan. That's
Yeah,
a
so
fact.
I do. I'm always grateful to Herschel Walker for the Dallas Cowboys of the 90s.
Okay.
Yeah.
Listen, I don't think Donald Trump is going to see the inside of a prison cell. I agree. That man has stretched out more loopholes than the ones he has in his belt. All right? If there is one thing that America knows how to do, it's not hold presidents accountable for criminal behavior, former or otherwise. Look at George W. Bush. All right? He fabricated an entire war, and now he's somewhere painting trees like he's Bob Ross. All right? And I'd love to have a conversation with him.